It's your boy Rondu, and you tuned into the Do You radio show on a highly unique network. Today's topic is black on black social crimes. And we have a very special guest in the building. I gotta say, this is the most legendary guest, and might be the most legendary guest in my eyes that we will have on the Do You radio show, on the highly unique radio show network.
All right.
I gotta give a shout out to my Libra brother, Kevin C. Edwards.
One time for Do You Radio, and I'm so appreciative to be on this show. I'm so glad Rondu asked me to come on the show. I've been waiting to talk since I've been back home, and when he asked me to come on to the show, it was just such a refreshing idea that I had to take him up on it. And what he's doing is huge here. You're doing big things here, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you, Kev, man. You look like you've been on vacation, man. I don't know anybody that goes to
came back 50 pounds lighter.
Whoa! Like, how do you go to the feds and come out looking like a supermodel? You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You know what is that? You got the finest threads. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, brother?
You know, it was a lot of times where that's all I had to do was to work out. So, it was time to get your mind right, get your body right, your spirit right. So when you come back, you be ready for the battle, and I'm ready for the battle. I'm battle tested now. I'm ready to bring a lot of people on this journey with me to be successful, to be millionaires. There's a lot of things that I had 18 months to put a lot of things together in my mind that I want to come back, and not only for me. We always talk about self-preservation, but I'm about human preservation.
Wow.
I want the human race to succeed, so on this journey this time, it's going to be less about self, but more about helping the whole community.
Definitely. And I spoke about you before you came in, and I'm going to dive right in. Kev, I'm going to talk about stuff that is public record. Public record says on the AJC website, they say that that's what this. I'm going to say. They said. I'm not saying it's fact.
Yeah.
They say that you took $490,000 in restitution and service in 3 years, and it disappeared. They said you took them. That's what they're saying online.
Hey,
you took almost $500,000 from them.
Hey, let me just dispel the fact. In this community, this society, you have a lot of things that go on. When you reach a certain level of success, you're presented with different ideas, you're presented with different situations, and sometimes you just don't make the best decision.
Right.
They say that I took $490,000. No, I did not personally take $490,000. $490,000 in contracts were awarded to me.
Okay, so, but the verbiage online, the way
they always visualize it to make it worse than what it seems.
Right. Especially when it's one of us.
If you go behind them, the prosecutor also said, nah, he did not get $490,000, but it was some misappropriation of funds. So, we got through that. We knew it was coming. It's something we had to deal with, and we dealt with it. Now it's over. Okay.
So, why? Like, where was your mind? What was your mindset before this went down? What direction you were going?
Well, let me just back up for a minute. I've always been about helping the community and helping people. So
right.
These contracts that I had were to help people. So fast forward to 2007 and 8, when everybody's making a lot of money. We're in real estate. Real estate is booming. And then you come to 2009, 2010, when no one's making money. So, I had people with me that needed to be fed. We all needed to eat. So opportunity was presented to me, and from that, the people who were involved in the contracts with me were people who needed help.
Okay.
So I got caught up in a bigger picture. My what I got caught up is much bigger than me, It was something else going on in the city of Atlanta that you see going on now with City of Atlanta, City Hall corruption. It's still going on. Investigations are still going on. So when they threw the net out to try to catch whatever they were trying to catch and to implicate people into different corruptions, I got caught up in the net.
And do you feel like you were targeted?
I was not targeted. Let's get that straight. I was not targeted. The picture was a bigger picture than me. Actually, the target is the mayor, Kasim.
Right.
That's the target.
Yeah.
And I pray for him, and I hope that he and his family get through it, because for me, going to federal prison and understanding what federal prison is, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Right.
Even though I was just in a camp where it was, the net worth on the compound that I was at was well over $100 million. You had CEO from Enron there, you had Jesse Jackson was there, you had
Jesse Jackson was there doing what?
Jesse Jackson Jr.
Oh, Jesse Jackson Jr.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, we got to clear it up.
Wow.
Okay.
Jesse Jackson Jr. was there. So we had a lot of influence. You had people going back to court to give back $2-3 million just to get out of jail earlier. So what I learned in this federal system is that it has no, you have no, how should I put it? There's no favoritism in the federal system. Let's get that straight.
Okay.
No matter how much money you have, no matter who you are, no age, it doesn't discriminate. White, black, I've seen 81-year-old white men come in for sentences of 5 years. That's like a death sentence for them. You see 75-year-old men come in with cancer. They still have to come in, so it's a very, very hard system to get out of. And once you get into that web, into that net, then you basically a pawn in their chess game.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience on your mindset upon those 18 months that you were in?
Well, let me tell you, man, it gave me a chance to really reflect on me.
Okay.
So, I thought about all the things that I did before I went in and all the things I was going to do after I went in.
Right.
It's a daily ritual of a routine. You just have a routine every day. Like I get up in the morning, I go run, I read, I teach a class,
right.
And then I come back and do the same thing over and over again. But when I got there, I didn't know what it would be like. And like I say, I was not in a high maximum security. I was at a camp, so
right.
It wasn't anybody trying to shank you or anybody trying to fight you or anything like that.
Right.
It really was like a men's summer camp.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. I don't want to go to that summer camp.
We got basketball. We playing basketball in our Golden State uniforms. Everybody got uniforms. The softball team have the Braves uniform.
Wow.
You see guys sunbathing. You got tennis
wow,
lessons.
Really?
You soaking up. I mean, because you have a lot of people who've been successful in life there.
Right.
But the thing that really blew my mind was that how everybody is treated and how people that are in authority treat everybody the same. It doesn't matter how much money you had, who you were when you was out there. You're just an inmate when you get in there.
Right.
And there's really no favoritism, none of that going on. And it's crazy to see, because you would think people would be in awe of some of the people and some of the stature, because all the guards, they reading up on us.
Right.
They all know.
Exactly.
I never, you see how many people there who knew who I was,
right.
and I never met them before. So
wow.
They Googling you, they name searching you, but they still treating you just everybody the same.
Wow.
So.
Oh, okay.
I have a question. So I'm gonna bring some street stuff here. Word on the streets was when Kasim Reed was in office, and it was on site. If y'all seen each other, yes or no? That's it. We ain't gonna go into it. It was like it would be on site.
We got our differences, but he is who he is, and I am who I am. Everybody is two successful, powerful black businessmen trying to get to one cause, and that's to my cause is to empower people and help people along.
Right.
He might have a different take on that. So but.
Yeah, and here at the Do You Radio Show, we're not here. We want to put out the so-called bad news, but we also want to dive in to the positive things that you've done in the community. I want to share my experience when I first met Kevin. Kevin actually inquired a club that I was working at. I had a security contract with me and Ransom. Rest in peace. Ransom passed away from cancer. And it was the original Orem. At one time, Kev, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You had Class, Capture, Crave, Opium, Indigo, Red Lounge, what was it called?
Red Lounge.
Did I miss anything?
You may have,
Whiskey Peach.
Yeah.
Whiskey Peach. Now, it's only
doing it big, huh?
Yeah,
doing it big.
Yeah, it's only when I first came here to Atlanta 15 years ago, the first person I worked for was AG of AG Entertainment, Ali's Good one. In my opinion, and I think it's facts, the only two people that's made a powerful impact here in the nightlife scene has been you and him. You took the road of like the underdog and the people's champion. Not discrediting what Alex has done, because he's done a great job. But when I first met you, you came in, you inquired Orem, the original Orem, not the Orem that's there now. And I remember you coming in and shaking everybody's hand and introducing yourself. And I remember everybody thought we was going to lose our jobs. And the transition was you kept the same team and you made everybody feel welcome. And I remember at the end of the night, you would be sweeping the floors after you inquired. So when you was inquiring these clubs, let's focus on Orem, because that's when I first started dealing with you. When you was inquiring these clubs, what was your mindset?
Well, let me back up a second to the question she asked me, and we could roll into that because they kind of tie into each other. I had a lot of time to think about what I need to do, and when you become a millionaire, it's like riding a bike, right. For 2008, I fell off the bike. I was broke. When people don't know, when I opened up Indigo Bar, which was the first, I was selling shrimp out the back of my car. Wow. So I was flying back from New Orleans. So, we fell off from 2008. We made so much money from 2001 to 2008, right? And it's like learning how to ride a bike. When you learn how to ride a bike, you can get on the bike and ride it if you're 50 years old or if you're 5 years old when you first started learn how to ride it. So when I was in prison, I had a time to reflect on everything that has gotten me to the point where I am now, because I knew I would have to come in and do some different things that I did when I first started my journey on to being a millionaire. Right. So in 2008, I lost tons of money. Fast forward to 2010, I'm trying to figure it out. 2011, I'm selling shrimp out of the back of my car, my trunk, figuring out what I was going to do next.
Wow.
Right. I looked at my daughter, Farron, my oldest daughter, she's 26 now, and we live in a place right over here off of Abernathy, in these townhouses that they just built, my friend had built, but they weren't all the way complete. So we in there stealing power and water, Wow. So, I'm in there figuring out what I want to do. And my daughter looked me in my eyes and she said, "Daddy, we don't live like this. We're not supposed to live like this. You've always been better than this." Now, I'm an accountant by trade. I could have went and got a job, making probably about $150,000 a year with my experience and my background. But that's not how I live either, In being successful, you're going to have more chapters of failure than you are in the book of success. Right. So this was a failing point I was going through that I had to get through, And when I looked in my baby girl's eyes and she said, "Daddy, we don't live like this," I said, I got to do something, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I got to do something. The economy is bad and everything is bad. So I always figure and know that success is all about duplication. Right. If you think about it, okay? When they made the wheel, they never tried to make it square. They always kept it circular. They just added more spokes and made the tire wider so it could roll.
Exactly.
And now we have the run flat tire. So that's the way I'm trying to get to be, is to run flat tire right now. Right. So what happens is, in business, when I got into real estate business, building houses and made money building houses, I duplicated some young white boys and did what they did. So I said, hey, if I'm going to get in this nightclub industry, who's the biggest and best person for me to emulate? It was Alex.
Yes.
So I took an 1,800 square foot building right on Edgewood called Indigo Bar. That was the first.
I remember that spot, man.
Indigo was my first spot. Okay. And even though I was 1,800 square feet, and this is where people get thrown off, even though you're small, your vision can always be big.
Exactly.
You know, at 1,800 square feet, I didn't think anybody was in competition with me but 20,000 square foot compound.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I never had my eyes focused on anybody but him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was just noise in the background.
Exactly.
You know, so in order, you figure, you know, you see Lyft and Uber, they duplicated each other.
Yes.
Right.
McDonald's and Burger King, they duplicated each other.
Yes.
You know, so, you know, when people are looking for a way to be successful or to be rich, it's always in front of your eyes.
Right.
You know, it's only once in a lifetime you're going to have a Uber, or you're going to have a Lyft, or you're going to get the .com phase. It's only a few people who are going to think of those things. But once they put the blueprint out there, it's always a blueprint to follow in anything you do. In radio, you in radio, Frank Ski is the person. He's done it from ain't to fame.
Yes.
You know, you know, so, you know, if you look around, you know, being successful for me is giving people a strategy to emulate, to be able to say, okay, Kevin did it this way, and that way. And from being in fast food, when I first got here at 18 years old, working the fries at Arby's, that's where I learned the customer service part. You know, you always gonna have people who are smarter than you, prettier than you, funnier than you, everything. But what you don't let is anybody outwork you.
Ooh.
Wow.
Right.
Ooh, hardest working Haitian. Hashtag hardest working Haitian.
You know, they can't take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not born with the same gifts. But when you use your gifts that you have and that you are in tune with, that's when you become successful.
Kevin, man, listen, I'm glad you said that, because I always, you know, my hashtag is hardest working Haitian. And one of the things that I love about you is you came to the city. You've changed the narrative on a lot of people's lives. I'm going to talk about my life. When I first met you, I was in arrears of child support. I was on MARTA. I was taking MARTA to come to Orem. And, you know, I was coming to Orem and I was doing my thing before you got there, and you inquired Orem. And then I was doing the security thing and I was doing the promotional thing. And I've seen you. I don't think you get enough credit for changing the narrative on thousands of people's lives. By you only, let's say, at one time you was involved in 6 clubs, let's say?
Well, at the height, it was, we had 8 on the books at one time.
Okay, 8 clubs on the books. So that means, how many employees did you have at that time? You say, just to guesstimate.
Man, it had to be over 200.
Okay, over 200 employees, and those 200 employees had kids and families and situations. Because we all know, you know, corporate America, you know, it's the whole thing of, you know, you make some money, but you can't make enough money to live. So I think you gave people an outlet to make extra money.
Right.
And that's what I was doing. I was with you making extra money. And I've observed you and I've watched you. I've watched the way you move. Like, you know, we got Mace in the studio, you know, one of the brothers that you've changed their lives. And when I was on child support and I was on arrears and the system was about to put me in jail, you know, you gave me that outlet to make more money so I can pay my child support. When I didn't have a car, who I came to see, Kevin Edwards, to say, you know, Kev, they say in my corporate job, I don't make enough for this car. Kev, can you let them know that I work for KCE bars? And you was like, it's nothing. You know, to this day, I still have this car. And I've seen you change people's narrative over and over again. I don't think you get enough credit. But I'm going to say something. You don't need to get credit for man as long as God shows you grace on your life. And I had to learn that, Kev, because it would upset me when I be in rooms, because I don't think people know how much respect and love I have for you. I can't even be in a room if somebody talking bad about Kevin Edwards. I gotta disperse. I gotta remove myself from the room, because Kevin Edwards has been a blessing in my life. Now, what's going on with anybody else, that's none of my business, because you treat me right. Kevin Edwards took the Do You Entertainment brand and legitimized it by an action he made. I was at Orem selling sections. You know what I was doing, and I know the numbers. I was doing between $8,000 to $10,000 a month off of selling sections. Kevin Edwards calls me one day to come to his corporate office in Midtown. He says, "Ron, I see what you're doing. Listen, and this is how it was. It wasn't no long, drawn-out meeting. I see what you're doing. Listen, I don't want you doing no security anymore. I want you to keep focused on this sections. I'm going to give you a security salary, plus I'm going to give you a percentage of everything that you sell, and we need to give you a title. This is going on. This is like going at light speed. VIP operations manager. VIP operations manager. You're over all 8 of the clubs. And that was over $1 million portfolio, right?
That's it.
So it started a ripple effect in my mind, because I always believed in my hard work, but I didn't believe in myself. And I want to publicly say to 1.9 million people, 100,000 subscribers here in Georgia, it's because of Kevin Edwards that Do You Entertainment is thriving. It's because of Kevin Edwards that I'm here on the highly unique radio. And I could never say nothing bad about Kevin Edwards, because we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect, but the actions that you've showed are perfect actions by helping people.
Yeah.
And how do you, I always wanted to ask you this. What did you see in me and other people that you put on? How do you gauge that?
Well, this is what I like to do, man. And, you know, so many people have so many big ideas, you know, and I like to be a dream facilitator. You know, when you are at a certain level in your life, you're thinking way beyond the regular person, you know.
Right.
And so when you have to have those conversations with people who've never did anything or never seen success or never made a lot of money, they tend to try to steal your dream, not on purpose.
Right.
They just don't know. And what people don't understand, they're scared of, and they shy away from it.
Right.
So with me and the way the Lord has blessed me to be able to be successful, touch a lot of money, know what it is from going from making $75,000 a year to $75,000 a month in a matter of 6 months, you know, knowing those different type of things, I understand. You can't have $1 million conversation with a person that's never made more than $50,000 a year in their life.
But how do you have a conversation with a guy like me that hasn't made $1 million? How do you have that conversation with me?
And that's why I like to talk to everybody. That's why I like to help everyone, because I want to give them hope and let them know that, hey, you on the right path. With you getting up, dreaming, going to work hard, trying to fulfill your obligation. Like I tell everybody, I got an Instagram post on there with a picture of me. Success is when you can do something for free.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The money I've made is cool, but the successful part is if I woke up and they didn't pay me to do what I needed to do right now, and I still went there and still enjoyed myself, that's when you hit the sweet spot of success.
Exactly.
Wow.
You know, and that's what I like to instill in people, because I meet people like you when I first met you that have a lot of hope and have a lot of dreams, but they don't have the right people to talk to.
Right.
They talking to dream stealers.
Ooh.
You know, and the people who stealing the dreams don't even know they're stealing your dream. They think they're helping you. They think they're helping you when you're a hairstylist and you want to become a real estate agent and you quit hair to focus on real estate, and they like, oh, why you leaving that income? No, you're leaving that income because if you do anything part-time, you're going to get part-time results.
Right. Right.
If you want to do something that's going to make you successful, if you want to do something that's going to take you to the next level, you got to do it 100%. Right. But see, they don't understand that. They want you to go to a 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. They want you to go and make $50,000 a year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody is not built to be rich or successful. But if that's what you built for, That's the kind of people you need to be around in your life.
Wow.
You need to be around people. And that's why I talk to my employees. That's why when I walk in, I shake their hand. If they have anything to talk to me about, let's talk about it. I'm not too busy. When I walk in the the beginning of any night, of any building I am, I shake everybody's hand. I look them in the face and I ask them if they are all right. Do you have anything to talk about? You could tell me about your sister. You could tell me about whatever. But if you want to talk to me, let's talk. Because I don't have all the answers, but I have enough of life experiences to help you and put you in the right direction.
Right.
If you just tuned in, you tuned into the Do You Radio Show with DJ Chic Chick and Lee Masters. We have Kevin Edwards in the building. We have Kevin Edwards in the building. And we're going to go to something. Kevin, this song is for you, man. I'm going to dedicate this song for you. Let's put on that Meek Mills. That, you know what I'm talking about, that free, that joint with Jay-Z, that powerful joint. Kevin Edwards, cause you're free, brother.
What's free?
You're free.
Kev is free.
Kevin's free, yeah. Kevin's free.
He's free.
He did his time. He came out looking like a supermodel. Yeah. I don't believe he was in jail. I believe he was somewhere than ever. I believe Kevin Edwards was somewhere on an island, and that's the play he made because he didn't want the haters to know what he did. And he said, listen, we're going to make this elaborate story. I'm going to go here, I'm going to drink coconut water, fresh fish off an island for like 18 months and come back. Let's go to that track.
No, before we go to it, what you have to do is listen to what he said. Remember he was saying that some of them were out there sunbathing. I think he was one of
them. We have Kevin Edwards in the building. You're tuned into the Do You Radio Show. DJ Chic Chicks on the 1 and 2s. Lee Masters just hanging out. He ain't doing no work. He just got a gold chain on.
Listen.
A silk Haitian flag on. He's just stunting.
To be real, man, I'm really soaking the game today.
He's from Canada, so he's like, what's going on?
I'm really taking it all in.
What's going on?
Sometimes you really gotta step back and listen, let people talk, cause
that's good.
They just dropping gems.
That's why I mess with you. That's why I mess with you, because you listen.
Exactly. And you know what?
Right.
You know what, Kevin? That was a question that I was ready to ask you in reference to that. When you made the comment in reference to when you have like $1 million idea, you can't talk, or somebody that has made $1 million or something like that, you can't really talk to somebody that hasn't made that. Will you agree with me? The person has to be able to have that listening ear to be able to learn from you, to be able to to hear you drop that knowledge and have that opening ear and that opening heart to be able to take your advice. Because there's a lot of people out there that, you know, they don't want to hear what somebody else has to say. They think that it's a fly-by-night thing. They don't think it's hard work and so on and so forth. So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So that's the biggest skill. Excuse me. That's the biggest thing of being successful, is being able to be coachable. I like to keep myself around people who are coachable. That's the first thing I look at in anybody. Are you coachable? Do you want to listen? That's going to determine if we're going to have our next conversation or not. Because I don't want to just be talking to be talking.
Exactly.
You know? So I like to put myself around people who are coachable. And when you becoming successful, you have to be a student. So that's the first thing you learn how to do to be successful, is be a student. Be a student of whatever you're doing. No matter if you're taking, I take heed from the sweeper to the bathroom person, to anybody who's in my circle. I'm listening. I'm dissecting everything they're saying. They might tell me a whole bunch of nothing, but then it might be one point in there, you know, that's going to teach me something. So that's the biggest key in being successful, is being coachable.
Exactly.
You have to be coachable.
Okay.
And I have a question. Like, what is, like, how do you get into that mindset? Like, I want to understand, like, how, like, what sparked you to want to be this entrepreneur, like that spirit? Like, where did it come from? Like, is it one of your parents? Is it just in you? Like, what, like,
is your why. Everybody in the world has to have a why. To be successful, you have to have something that burns inside of you that's going to make you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning after you done went to sleep at 4:30. You know, 30 minutes of sleep and still ready to go, you know.
He signed Mason the back on agreement.
So, you know, that's how it has to be. You have to have your why. My why was my family, you know. You know, I didn't want to see, you know, I got married at 22 years old, and I can remember the day my wife came home and she was like, hey, I just can't do this job no more. I can't. She's making $9 to $10 an hour, and she's talking about every time she's come home, she's complaining the job she's working for, they not paying her on time. And I said, I looked at her and I looked at myself and I said, man, I got to change my situation. That day, you know, we were married for 17 years, and out of that 17 years, she may have worked 3 months out of the whole 17 years. Wow. And that was the first 3 months because I said, look, I got a young family and I got to change the pattern of the trajectory of where we're going. So when she told me that she didn't want to work anymore and that I had to replace her income and figure out what's going on, because nobody wants a beautiful wife that's crying all the time about her job. You know what I'm saying? She's so frustrated. We got a baby at home. She crying about her job. She's not making nothing but $10 an hour. So I'm like, I got to replace this income. Right. So then it activated inside of me that I needed to be rich. I wanted to be rich, you know, and we went from, it's so funny, we went from every morning trying to make sure we don't bounce a check, and the banker at the bank looking at us like, oh, here they come again. They want to try to get these fees reversed, to having so much money in the bank that the bank closed at 4. We'll get there at 4:30. They opening the doors for us to be able to come in and do our banking. You know, they glad to see us now. You know what I'm saying?
Money talks.
So it's a learning process. It's something that everybody who's successful has to have. You have to have a why. If you don't have a why, you're gonna chase your dream for 2 months and then you're gonna fall off. And then you're gonna look up. It's just like weight loss. You know, people make a New Year's resolution to lose some weight, but they don't have something that connected them to losing weight. You know, I wanted my health to be right. That's why I lost the weight. You know, I wanted to look rich. You know, I was making a lot of money, but I was overweight. And I said, hey, I need to lose this weight. So when I went to
going to the gym later.
Take my vacation, you know, when I took my vacation for those 18 months, it gave me a chance to get myself.
I heard the way you said vacation. I told you he was on the island.
Yeah, he was sunbathing. I told you that already.
But Kev, coming home, right? What do you see different? Because Atlanta has changed in those 18 months. The system has changed. Social media, I think when you were going in, social media was bubbling, but now it's on fire. Fahrenheit is on something different right now. So what do you see as somebody that was on vacation that hasn't been in society for a while? What do you see different? The good and the bad?
Well, you know, first of all, you know, that social media platform is just so huge now. You know, when I left, it was big. But now it's just to a whole nother level with Insta story and, you know, and this and that. And I'm still trying to catch up, you know. So, but what I really want to do, or what I would like to see happen is, you know, instead of people glorifying and edifying what they're doing and the different things, some kind of way help touch people to be able to be on your level. If that's the level you really live in, show me how to get there. Don't keep showing me what you have and what you do. Show me how to get there.
You know the thing about it, Kevin, not mean to cut you up, but a lot of that stuff that you see on social media, is fake. The topic today is black on black social crimes. if you see on social media, we're quick to hang each other. And I'm going to use you as an example because the same people that you fed and you gave jobs to, a lot of them were the same ones that were glorifying and having a celebration when you was about to get put away on your little vacation.
Yeah.
So what is your outlook on the black on black social crimes that you see every day on social media, like the hanging of Bill Cosby, we're not defending him, the hanging of R. Kelly, and etc. And you have all these Caucasian males that are doing stuff like touching little boys, you know.
So
preach.
So you hit the nail right on the head, you know. And I have a kind of, you know, a different view of that, a view of everything, you know. And what we got to realize from the beginning, we not on a fair playing field.
Exactly.
There's no way we on a fair playing field.
Exactly.
Right? So we need to govern ourselves accordingly. And this is what I've been trying to instill upon people, especially black men. You know, let's take, for instance, the Meek Mill situation. Okay? Meek Mill's, he was unjustly done. The judge did him
and she was black.
She was extra. She
black.
was totally extra. But I fought him for putting himself in that position. See, people never say, Meek Mill, why are you fighting in the airport and you on probation? Why are you popping with, why are you putting yourself in a position for this judge to impose anything on you?
Right.
I've come from federal prison. I got paper. I'm on 3 years of paper. I have to govern myself accordingly.
Right.
And it's all up to Kevin not to put myself in a position where I'll be judged by someone.
Exactly.
You know, and so no one's ever said that. You know, Bill Cosby, I love him. R. Kelly, I love him. But you put yourself in that position to be critiqued and criticized. I put myself in that position. You know, I can't take it back. You know, what happened, you know, it wasn't meant for me, but I got it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I really have to I want us, especially as black men, to govern ourselves accordingly.
Yes.
Don't put yourself in a position where they can judge you. Don't go, if you're on probation, don't fly out without calling your PO. If he tell you don't go, you just can't go.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my thing is that, no, we're not equal. We're not equal to them. We're not going to ever be treated equally. We're not going to get a fair shake in the courtroom, and we're not going to get a fair shake on social media.
But Kev, what do you think that we can do as black men? And I got this thing I say, I'm here to save one or two. I can't save the masses. That I can't take on that. I'm here to touch one or two people that maybe will change the world. What do you think as black men that we can do different, that you see that we are not doing, that we can interject in our everyday lives? What can we do different to support each other in a positive light?
And man, it starts with respect, you know. It starts with respect. And long as we're respecting each other, we can do, like I tell anybody, it's going to be people in your journey to be successful that you don't like, that you're going to have to put yourself in position to make money with. But long as the respect level is there for you and for them, then you can move forward. You know, and that's what one thing that we don't do as a whole. We don't give each other enough respect. We don't give each other enough praise. Is everybody trying to tear everybody down instead of build them up? Right. If you got an ice cream shop on this corner and the ice cream shop is making $1, I want to encourage you to make $10. I don't want to bring you down where you're in the red. And you know, that's not what happens here. And we have to get this thing out of our mind that if you're dealing with someone, and we have to change it too. If you're dealing with black establishments, you're going to get subpar performance. You know, we are, as a race, are critical of our own people more than anybody else.
Right.
You know, right. I see, especially in our industry, that they'll run to a white-owned club before they come to our club. People will bring events instead of sharing the money in our community, because it's all our community there, making tons of money for other people. They will run over there and skip over two nice black clubs and have a reason why they're gonna do it. Gonna give me some reason why, and then go to another establishment. So we have to stop being so discriminatory of our own people. We are the biggest races inside of a race there is. The Asians don't tear each other's down. The whites don't tear each other's down. But we typically always want to tear down successful people.
Black on black social crimes.
Slave mentality.
Black on black social crimes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm glad that I hope somebody out there, one or two people, are listening what you have to say. And I don't think people understand the entertainment industry and the nightlife industry. We touch so many lives. We have the dope boys, the politicians, the strippers, the doctors, the nurse, the bus driver, the handyman, etc. We come into contact with so many different people. And I don't think people know the importance of the nightlife industry. You know what I'm saying? We do work with the best and the worst. So how, tell people how it is to juggle that. Cause you have the local dope boy, then you have the local, politician in the same room. And the police, everybody there hanging out. The POs, everybody in the same room. And people don't understand that we gotta deal with this as the employees or the bosses that own the clubs. We have to have conversations with these people.
Yeah. So, you hit the nail right on the head. It's a unique industry that we deal with. In order for us to be successful, and I always call it the perfect storm, you have to have the street money in there, you have to have the athletes in the entertainment, and you have to have the corporate people in there. And everybody think what they've done in life is special. The guy who's become the CEO, he think that's special. The guy who's become the athlete or the entertainer, they think that's special. And the guy who's become the quote-unquote kingpin or the plug, he think that's special too. So in all their mind, they're king.
Right.
So you have to play up to all those different egos.
Everybody happy.